Oh, alrighty. You are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 New York Jets. They won the preseason game, but they're still 0-16. And why are they 0-16, the New York Jets? Because they suck. Even with Aaron Rodgers, they suck. That never gets old. Welcome to anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. If anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. You should try to check on the chat box every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me rambling on for whatever, half an hour, 45 minutes, it's nice to talk to another Giant fan. I'm going to skip all the other pleasantries and all that and everything. Let's just start diving right into the post game, the Gridiron post game show. Hey, right? Well, it's only preseason, right? There was some good, there was some bad, there were some injuries, there was a little of everything in between. Holy freaking crap! I mean, holy freaking crap! If I can say that, let me say it one more time. Holy freaking crap! Is Jalen Hyde fast? And one more time. Holy freaking crap! Did you say Isaiah Simmons? Can you say speed? Man, I'm not saying we're winning the Super Bowl or nothing. I'm not saying we're going to win the division or not like that. But man, we got some players, we got some speed. I mean, how about on that first play? What's up, Terrence? Oh man, on that first play, I saw a video of it and I stopped the video and it's really blurry, and I captured a picture of it, like the first play of the game. And of course, it wasn't like they didn't really zoom in on it or not like that. They were showing like Matt Parrott. Yeah. Because Tyrod dropped back the pass. He had pressure. Matt Parrott got burnt. So he had to hold some guy. It was number 11, I think it was. But they throw the pass. So they didn't like zoom in on it or not like that. Now, they were kind of zooming in after the replay of Matt Parrott holding the guy, hugging the guy and all that. So Jaylen was, I don't know who the other wide receiver was, but they had Jaylen. I think it was maybe in a slot. So he came across in formation, and when Tyrod, he went to Sauce's side, and Tyrod dropped back the pass. And so I captured the picture of it. So it's blurry, and I put it in the group, the Gridiron, the group. And man, it's like he had at least like 2 yards on him. The pass wasn't good. Tyrod had some pressure up the middle. I'm not sure if that's why the pass was that bad. But if I captured it, so I'm trying to, I stopped the video and I didn't stop this. When I stopped the video, it didn't stop. Everybody's just, it was blurry. So, but I captured a picture. I put it in the group and it was like, he has like 2 yards on him. I mean, wow. That's some pretty cool stuff. That's some pretty cool stuff. Of course, then we have Simmons. I don't know if he was I saw he was in there for like maybe 5 plays or so. I was looking because I got it on my phone. I'm trying to watch. I was out. And I'm driving around. I was watching it on the phone and all that and everything. So somebody said he had 5 plays, I think maybe. Yeah, easy speed. Whew. I think he had like 5 plays. Somebody said I read it was in Facebook or something that he had 2 at the inside and 3 on he rushed from the edge, or 2 on the edge and 3 on the inside. I think it was like maybe 5 plays, but like the one. Yeah, 5, yeah. Well, that's kind of like what they were saying on Big Blue Kickoff Live. They were Jonathan Casillas was kind of saying, He seemed to think that, if he was going to get in at all, I'm shocked he got in at all, but he said if he was going to get in at all, it was going to be, he was kind of thinking maybe a blitzing situations, because it's like, okay, Isaiah, we're going to call whatever. If we call this formation, he starts learning the playbook. It's not like, oh, well, don't worry about the playbook until after the preseason. No, I mean, he's learning. So I guess they give him the formation or whatever. So he knows certain formations. He's going to go over here, or if there's a certain look, you go at whatever. But when they snap the ball, you rush the quarterback. There's no, you cover this guy unless this guy comes here. You drop in the zone. If he's coming in the zone, you got the flap. If the guy comes in and does a curl, there ain't none of that. They snap the ball. You rush the quarterback. Now, also, well, yeah, ask him what he likes to do. There you go. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, they take a round peg and they put the round peg in a round hole. It's not like, no, it's my defense. If I know you like the blitz, but we're going to have you in coverage. Sorry. I'm not, certainly he's not blitzing all the time, because that would also, okay, Isaiah Ximines is in a game. What's he going to do? I guess he's going to blitz, so, I mean, obviously you got to have it where, he just can't blitz. But, I mean, he's only been, it was Thursday we got him, right? So I was shocked he was even in the game. But when he did, I mean, he was going up against the running back. He just poof. He toyed with that running back. He tried to grab, I guess his shoulder, maybe his shirt on his shoulder or something like that, and he just barely missed him. But boy, he put some pressure on. But can you imagine those two guys like in the middle? I mean, between a Paye and Ximines, how much speed they got? Wow. Because the Paye is just smart, intelligent, and of course, knowing where to go and all that speeds you up as well too. But Paye is just a tackle machine. Of course, Wink winds up saying that if you have a fast Mike, you got a fast defense. And there was times there, like it was what it was. Like when we had Tay Crowder in there, the guy tried. But it's you can see there's definitely a different animal in there when you got maybe a Paye compared to a Tay Crowder, or hey, I was going to say Carter Coughlin, but Carter Coughlin didn't look too bad. He showed up early on. I'm not exactly sure when he got taken out of the game and all and everything, but he didn't look too bad. But you can just see what an impact Ximines might wind up having, on this team, especially with the speed. I mean, and then of course, he can do anything. He drop into coverage. I mean, he had almost 100 tackles last year. He had over 100 tackles the year before. Obviously, knock on wood, he's played in every game. He's been in his 50 games, 16 games in 2020, 17 games in 2021, 17 games in 2022. He's played in every game in 3 years. So, once again, don't want to jinx it. Woo, coach, we have going to be used the proper way. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like what Dable tries to say. I mean, Dable talks to Daniel Jones. What and it's not like, okay, we're just going to take my playbook, we're going to throw it out. Dan, what do you want to do, Daniel? Yeah, okay, all right. It's you got to I mean, there's got to be give and take. Dable, him and Kafka, a lot of knowledge up there. So they got the stuff they want to do, because why? Because they know it's successful. They know it, but it's got to be collaborative. It's not, I mean, you're not going to put Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, Darren Waller, and Jalen Hyatt. You got these guys with rockets up their rear ends, and you're not going to start pounding the rock. on a 13-play drive. Let's run the ball 12 times. You know what I mean? It's, right? But it's also what they're asking Daniel Jones. What do you like? What plays do you like? What patterns, what like and stuff like that. And he tries to incorporate that as much as he can. I mean, I like that approach. Some coaches in the past, it's like, it's gotta be this way, like, I don't want to go back in the day, but I like Vince Lombardi when he was with the Packers. We're running the power sweep. And he just ran it over and over and over. And that's the play we're running. That's the play where, the power sweep with the Packers, and it was called, like, I also had a book called Run the Daylight by him, but we're running the power sweep. That's, that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? So some coaches are like, no, this is what we're going to do. And other guys, it's got to be some give and take. It's got to be give and take. And I like that with the way Dable's been doing that. But, I mean, you pick up, Isaiah Simmons, as you see, I mean, with Javarius Owens and Jordan Riley, you can get yourself some not too bad talent in the 7th round. So they're just not going to take a 7th round and just, throw it away. Isaiah Simmons, Wink's got to, have a feeling that, he can put Isaiah Simmons in there and have it work out. Instead of just throwing away a 7th round pick. But also, I mean, it worked out pretty well because apparently also the Cardinals are I think it was like, I think it was his salary $6.5 million this year. I think it is. But apparently the Cardinals are taking up almost all of it. The Giants only paying him $1 million this season. So they're paying him they gave him a 7th round draft pick, and they owe him $1 million this season, and they got Isaiah Simmons. But of course, they'll have to make a decision after the season's over with. You hopefully leaning toward that they're going to try to keep the guy because they did give away a draft pick. That wouldn't look too good, especially if you look at, how good maybe like a Jordan Riley and Javarius Owens have been this year. I mean, you can get yourself some talented ball players in the 7th round. So if you have Isaiah Simmons for a year and you just don't wind up re-signing him, and now you lost not only Simmons, but you lost your 7th round pick, that's not going to look too good. So let's hope they can find a way, because they got some guys that they got coming down at the pipe that they're going to have to start signing, right? I mean, Xavier McKinney too. Let's not forget about him. And, obviously Isaiah Simmons, but let's not forget about Mr. Saquon himself. The nice thing about with Saquon is that he's going to want security. I get it. He's going to want a long-term contract, and I get it. And if he doesn't get it, I would be bummed out about him. But the nice thing is that if he does get franchised once again, now he's going to get $12 million guaranteed. And with Josh Jacobs, right? I didn't read well enough into it, but I know he's coming out. He's going to start playing. But his deal is, I don't know if it's the kind of along the same lines as with a Saquon, where they're guaranteeing him the 10.1 or whatever, but with incentives, it can be worth up to $12 million, I think. So it's good for him. That's good. I mean, he was like probably the best running back in football last year, so it's nice to see for the 1 year, he's making himself some money. So that's good for him. But I mean, if they do have the franchise Saquon again next year, he's guaranteed 12-1, maybe 12-2, or whatever it is, or something. Maybe they can put some incentives on that. Maybe it can be worth up to 13. So, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully with Isaiah, hopefully we can work something out with him and get him to sign a deal, because he's, I think he's going to be worth a 7th round pick. Unfortunately, talking about injuries, at least now we had to look about with Davis. I mean, I feel bad. I was watching on my phone. I'm out driving around, right? And I'm driving, and I shouldn't be doing it, but I was driving, looking at my phone, looking at my phone. Heard Bob Papa's like, Davis comes in. I think what was he playing? Right guard. I think they had him in at right guard. And he Bob Papa just mentioned that Davis coming in, he's playing right guard, and then like 2 plays later, they call the ref calls a timeout, and Bob Papa's like, and Davis is down on the ground, and it's like then you can see he got rolled up on his. They said in the thing here, they said it was an ankle, but you can also see his knee kind of gave way too when he got rolled up on. It was nothing, malicious or anything like that. It's just that kind of crap happens in a pile up. Unfortunately, that's one of the. I mean, they got to be the biggest culprits as far as injuries, as far as with offensive linemen just getting rolled up on. You got all those bodies around, flying around, rolling around, and stuff like that. That's why a lot of times they try to not have guys. They don't want guys on the ground. Especially their offensive linemen and all. But where are we at here? Had 5 guys. But at least, as I said, I mean, other than Wyatt Davis, they have here his ankle. So hopefully, but he did have to get carted off. And they put, is it an air cast on him? Look, well, maybe it wasn't an air cast, but they had something. It was wrapped on his, what leg would that be? His right ankle, right leg. So, but of course, unfortunately, what you also hate is you can't stand it, and hopefully it's nothing horrible. Yeah, you don't wish injuries on anybody, period. Even the Eagle players, you want your best against their best. But the thing you always hate is when the guy's laying on the ground, he gets carted off, and what you hate is that when his teammates come over and tap him on the shoulder or tap him on the helmet. You got like 20 guys or so, because it's like you just like thinking the worst, when something like that happens. What we got? No, it wasn't air cast because I'm looking at a picture. It's black, so it was an air cast. Yeah, because I'm trying. It's hard to, because sometimes if I was watching on my phone because I don't get it around here, Channel 4. I'm in South Jersey. I wish I was back up North Jersey sometimes, but because I'd be able to get the Giant games instead of the Eagle games. But so it wasn't there. Yeah. So that's, and without sound, I mean, as I said, I forgive me, Lord. I don't want to sound like a total jackwagon, and I said, once again, please forgive me. I don't want to sound like a jackwagon, and I said, I feel horrible saying this, but at least he wasn't a starter. I said, obviously you never want anybody getting hurt, and I hope nothing but speedy recovery and all of that. But that's one of the reasons why, you don't maybe put your starters in there. And once again, without sounding like a total moron, low-life loser and jackwagon and all, we had like 5 injuries, but none of them were like, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Dexter, So, but we had, of course, Bobby McCain. He got a concussion after sustaining an illegal hit from Randall Cobb early in the game and did not return. I was watching that on my phone. I can't remember what the result of the play was, but I was reading on my phone. I said, happened. I'm like, oh, okay. Then after that, I was looking at these small letters. It says McCain got injured, did not return. I'm like, oh, jeez. So he got a concussion. So hopefully nothing long term. His problem now, unfortunately, is because he's you got to consider him kind of a bubble kind of guy. Does he make the final 53? How bad's the concussion? That's one of the, that's one of those things you just don't know how long it's going to take. His thing is that he has enough experience, I believe, that he would wind up getting released, and he's a free agent. Now, I don't know if the Giants could try to maybe release him and try to bring him back on the practice squad or whatever. We're going to release you to get down to the 53. But we're gonna sign you back to the practice. So we'll release you. We'll call you back tomorrow or whatever. We'll bring you back on the practice squad or whatever. But being a veteran that he is, if they let him go, somebody else possibly could pick him up. So I mean, but that's a problem. It's unfortunately really, really sad about with these guys because a lot of these guys are on the bubble And unfortunately, your best ability is your availability. And if you're on the bubble and you're not, and you're in the tub, and you're not available, unfortunately. So then you got, of course, Chris Myrick with his hand. Now, once again, he definitely a bubble player. I mean, there was no lock whatsoever as far as him. The only thing would be is him possibly. You can see him being possibly on the practice squad, but with Myrick possibly making the final 53, maybe as the fourth tight end, because he can play tight end, he can play fullback, he can, H-back, whatever. He can do quite a bit. Not exceptionally well, but he can block, he can catch, he can do all. He's been in the system 2 years and all. So if they were going to keep a fourth tight end, possibly because of Sweeney being injured, and hopefully it's nothing but a speedy recovery to him, possibly Myrick would be on the team. But he might be a practice squad guy. So if he doesn't, because with his hand, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know how bad it was or whatever. Of course, then you had Zion Gilbert with his hamstring. That's a shame. Because with hamstrings, you don't know. I mean, hamstrings can be a couple weeks, could be a couple months. I mean, that's a shame with him, the hamstring. And then, of course, then you got BFW. Just call him Bryce Ford Wheaton with a knee. Because they were really trying very hard. It really seemed like to do everything they could to work out a spot on the 53 for him. Because if they would have let him go, there's a possibility. There's 31 other teams out there, and especially because what he could possibly represent. Maybe not right this second, but maybe in the future, near future, whatever, as far as wide receiver talent. But the problem is he's putting out the past couple games, preseason games, on film that other teams can see is some of his value as far as special teams. So, if you're a rookie and you have value, especially some good value on special teams, and you can also, quite possibly lend a hand as far as wide receivers, he might be a high commodity. And the Giants just wound up, they it was like a couple $100,000 they signed him to. So they kind of feel, there's somebody they might want to develop, and also hopefully we'll have to wait and see. A lot of things you don't know how bad the stuff is. And unfortunately, right now it's all preseason, and, when Daboll comes, he says, I guess he's going to talk to the media, I guess maybe after the game or something or whatever. They're going to, maybe they might, how's Bryce Ford Wheaton to do? Oh, he's day to day. He's what I mean? That's all you're going to wind up getting, so you don't know the extent of it. So, but unfortunately, it seemed like, we got a little dinged up in this one. But, there was some good. There was certainly some bad. I mean, good old DeVito. Very, very impressed with him. Very, very impressed. I think quite possibly if they get him on the practice squad, I really think Tyrod will be the backup. I don't think there's really any question with that. I think he'll remain the backup. But Tyrod's only signed for the rest of the season. So now, if we can get DeVito on the practice squad, develop them, all right? And then maybe next season rolls around and he becomes the, second season under the same system and all, he'll become, once again, more familiar. He'll get better. His decision-making will be even faster and whatever. He might be somebody you can certainly see developing. And you can also listen to Bob Papa talking about, he said, he mentioned 2 times, if I'm not mistaken, about being excited about like a third string quarterback. It's been a while since we've been, because there have been times, in the past, we put a third string quarterback out there and it's like, they might lead a touchdown drive or they might this or they might that or whatever, but there's not a lot to be excited about. You can't really look at that the third string quarterback, maybe they let a touchdown drive or something like that. Oh, okay, that's cool. But you don't leave the game and you go, there's some potential in that guy. I think no, but I'm not saying DeVito's all pro. I ain't saying he's the Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that, but you know, you got to give the dude some credit. I mean, there was some times there he's dropping back to pass. I mean, my God. I mean, do we have offensive linemen? I felt bad for the guy. The guy is, Carl Branks brought it up a few times. He's got the pocket awareness, but he's keeping his eyes down the field, which is huge. So he knows it's not like, sometimes, especially Daniel Jones's first year or so, whatever, Daniel Jones would be in the pocket looking downfield, keeping his eyes. Okay, that's cool. But you're standing here, you're looking down here, and you got a blitzer coming at you, and he's about 3 feet away from you, and you're still looking downfield, patting the ball. Hello, but DeVito, he tries. The dude tries. I mean, he got sacked a bunch of times. He got hit a bunch of times, but his ability to scramble is pretty good. Maybe not the absolute most accurate quarterback of all time, but then again, the talent he has out there. I mean, Sills had that one catch that I thought it was a reception, but he apparently just hit the ground when the Jets asked for a review on it. Just apparently it hit the ground. So that would have been a tough catch, but Sills certainly could have brought it in. But his passes may be all on pinpoint accurate on all of them, but they're on the receivers. They have a chance to catch the ball. So I think if they can develop him, they might have themselves a backup quarterback, maybe going for the future. And then you just start thinking, right, with DeVito anyway, right? Well, if he actually has some guys blocking for him, and he actually has some guys out there running, obviously, the talent level goes up on both sides of the ball. I get that. But if you got some guys out there running the ball around who can get open and catch the ball, wow. Thanks. What he might want to do. There was one of the plays I was like, I think it might have been back-to-back plays, but there was one play. I don't remember if it was who it was. There was the right guard or the center. DeVito got the ball turned around. I can't remember if he's trying to hand it off to Corbin or Robinson. I can't remember what it was, but as he's turning around to hand the ball, there's a jet guy like engulfing both. I'm like, who's supposed to block that guy? I can't remember if he came in, if it was supposed to be the guard or the center was supposed to, the right guard or the center was supposed to block him. I'm like, where? It was just some of the the blocking was a little poor. So we had Robinson had a nice run. He got ran out down the sideline down there. So he had a nice run. We had a couple nice runs in there. We actually had over 100 yards rushing, which I was had over 100, or we had exactly 100, or it was real. What was it? Hold on. Giants had 125. Okay. Robin said it had a 28-yarder, but of course, Danny DeVito, yeah, the actor, yeah, Tommy DeVito, right? There you go. He scrambled. He had 33 yards rushing. Pimpleton had a couple runs, but those were like end arounds or whatever. But as far as like a lot of runs up the middle, in between the tackles and stuff, we were not exactly stellar, shall we say. Corbin had 6 rushes for 6 yards. Eric Gray had 7 carries for 11 yards. Robinson was 10 for 55, but he had popped the, what was it? Was it him? Robinson. He had a 10-yard carry. He carried like, it was almost like Mark Bavaro-esque. We lost, I think, 3 yards or 4 yards, something like that. So it might have been like 2nd and 13, somewhere around there. I guess it was maybe 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, whatever it was. And so he got a ball and he started heading toward the right. And one guy got on him and another guy got on him. And there was like 3 or 4 guys who were trying to tackle him. And he just like kept chugging along. I think he picked up like 10 yards on one play. Very impressive, because they said then he had the one outside that he bumped out of bounds. He got 28 yards on. So he had a couple, but they were both to the outside. Didn't have a lot, really don't have a lot much. I mean, once again, it's just preseason. It's the backups in there, all that stuff, which is okay. But we don't have a lot up the middle as far, but it's our backups going up against other team backups as well too. So some of our depth that, once again, we are rebuilding. We're not supposed to be in 2 years. We're not supposed to have a Super Bowl winning team. We're definitely better. We still got some holes. Some of the offensive linemen were. I mean, if you look, I mean, the Jets. What do they have here? I mean, I don't even remember, but apparently we had a sack. Wilburn had a sack. I don't even remember when that was, but we had 4 tackles for loss. We had 4 passes defensed, and we had two quarterback hits. I mean, there was a lot of times, it was like the Jets dropped back the pass, and I'm like, where's our pass? I mean, we had, what did I say? 2 quarterback hits, and I said we had 1 sack. The Jets, now I realize they started some of maybe their starters a little bit and all of that, but I mean, this carried on well into the game. So it wasn't like this stuff happened in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Well, it's because the Giants had their 3rd string and the Jets had their 1st string defense. No. The Jets had 5 sacks. They had 10 tackles for loss. They had 5 passes defense. Okay, nice job on their defense. But they had, and they also had 6 quarterback hits. Still, and of course, then we had the interception return for a touchdown. That was who was the guy? Eccles. That was a nice catch. He just got that before it hit the ground. He got up. Of course, by the time he got up, it was almost pretty much clear sailing to the end zone. But that was a nice interception. That was not a good pass. And then, of course, one of the other things that reared its kind of ugly head was the punt return, right? Which I believe that set up, I think, Rodgers. His first touch. It was the second. I think it was the second drive that Rodgers. We stopped them the first drive, right? Rodgers got back on the field, and with the nice punt return, now, of course, the guy stepped out of bounds. All right, hold on. I'm gonna let's see here. Where did he step out of bounds at? I'm gonna find this out. But you figure. All right, let's see here. They punted. The Giants punted. Okay. Does it say here? Gilliam punted 62 yards. Ran out of bounds at the Jets 40. He ran it back 20 yards, but he stepped out at the 48-yard line. But he ran it back 20 yards. But I mean, the thing is that it was really close to him. It's not like he got pushed out of bounds or not like that. It was kind of like, it almost seemed like to me like he just wasn't aware. I mean, maybe he could have kept his feet in bounds, but there was like, he planted, maybe he got out of bounds, but he got a 20-yard return. But then, once he planted, he started heading back into the field of play. It was like, where are the guys tackling him at? So this is the second, in 3 games, second. The thing was here is that you're not sure if the Scottish Hammer outkicked the coverage because it was a 62-yard punt. Now, what I don't know, right? And I don't think they said it. I don't think so. It was a 62-yard punt. Yeah. What I don't know, was it a 62-yard punt, 4-second hang time? Meaning, was it like this? Because I mean, kickers can probably kick the ball 70 yards on a straight line, but it'll have a 2-second hang time. So the guy's going to catch the ball and they'll have like 35, 40 yards worth of, real estate before anybody even comes close to him. So was it a 62-yard punt like that? Or was it a 62-yard punt? And it took, 5.5 seconds hang time coming, you know what I mean? That I don't know. Because I don't remember him saying what the hang time was. So maybe he outkicked the coverage, which is possible, which is one of the things that they kind of frown upon. Obviously they're kind of, what they say, what McGahee wants them to do. 40-yard punt, 4-second hang time. 50-yard punt, 5-second hang time. I guess a 60-yard punt, I mean, a 6-second hang time is a long hang time, but they want everything to equal out. They don't want a 60-yard punt with a 4-second hang time, because now you got the guy who can catch the ball and he's got probably 15 yards of real estate or whatever before anybody comes down and has a chance to tackle him. So, I mean, that one could also be on the Scottish Hammer as well too. But, you know, I mean, this is the second time in 3 games that we had some, you know, the punt coverage was not stellar. The first one, you know, if you look back at it, you know, basically cost us a football game because we gave up a touchdown to the Lions in that one, right? And of course we lost by 21-16. So we gave up 7 points there. So, I mean, once again, it's just preseason, thankfully, but you know, we gave up 7 points in the game that we lost by 5. Here we gave up, you know, didn't directly give up a touchdown, but you know, they got good field position, and with Rodgers, you know, working his magic, you know, pretty much, I guess their first stringers against our second stringers, he was able to march down the field and score a touchdown. But I mean, sure would have helped if we kicked it 62 yards if we were able to tackle him within like 5 yards or so. But my other point of concern was, as I said, once again, he like hit the out of bounds line and he didn't, I guess, realize it. You know, they blew it that, you know, whatever. But he ran back in the field of play, and it was like, you know, nobody still tackled him. It's like, you know, what's going on? So that's, you know, we have to keep an eye on that. Last year, too, I remember in the beginning, we gave up a couple long returns early on. And, you know, once again, special teams is like a third, you know, don't forget, you know. The good thing is I'll tell you what, as what I think Papa said best, Graham Gano, my God, a 57-yard field goal, right? He just boom. You know, the goalposts are here, right? And the ball just kind of goes, yeah, it's good. Then it was at a 56-yarder too. I mean, it's just like, damn, that guy's good. You know, we're lucky we got that guy. Let me tell you what, we're really, really lucky we got him. Let's see. What do we got? I said, you know, there was some good. There was some bad. I mean, the Giants even actually outgained. We had 22 first downs. We were 7 out of 16 on third downs. We were 1 out of 1 on fourth down. So between third and fourth downs, we were 8 out of 17. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. We had 321 yards of total offense. The Jets only had 302. So, what do we got here? You know, we had 196 yards, but I mean, you also we got sacked 5 times, so we lost almost 20 yards in sacks. We had 125 yards rushing. The defense only gave up 41 yards rushing, so that was very, very good. As I said, the one thing that just was concerning me is our you know, of course, it's preseason. It's our backups and all that, but you know, we did not, I mean, get a lot of pass rush. Did not get, I mean, you know, we got 1 sack and the Jets had 5, and they had a lot of quarterback hits, and DeVito was running for his life a lot of times. Let's see. And we only got into the red zone 1 time. You know, we had to settle for a lot of field goals. We didn't only had 5 penalties. That's not bad. The Jets only had 4. It was a very, very, very clean game. The Jets didn't have a turnover, which was another point of concern. Carl Banks was bringing that up as well. You know, there was no pressure on the quarterback, no sack, nothing. You know, I mean, no big, you know, sacks or anything like that, and we got no turnovers. Let me see. I got all this stuff pulled up here. All right, so we had no turnovers here. Whoops, let me hear team stats. All right, let's see here. And in the second game, I mean, something you got to be, you know, between the game with the Panthers and this past week against the Jets, we had 1 turnover. Gotta love it. The problem is that between the game between the Jets and the Panthers, the defense got us no turnovers. And then what about the Lions? Oh, hold on here. Team stats. All right, here we go. Turnovers. Okay, we got one. Oh, wait, two. Two interceptions, Tony. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. We got the two. Remember the first play of the game? Pinnock intercepted a pass. And that was it was just a horrible throw. Absolutely just threw the ball up. Absolutely horrible. And then we got the other interception. I believe it was Belton. It was an overthrown pass. So we got two turnovers. So we did get the two turnovers. But I mean, you look at the other than basically, what do we got? We gave up two turnovers in three preseason games. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Unfortunately, one of them led to a touchdown, directly to a touchdown. Not good. But we got two turnovers on the defense by our defense in the whole preseason. One of them was on the first play of the game, pretty much the first play that the Lions had. You figure after that, basically almost three full games, we got one turnover, and we're not much in the sack department either. Let's see here. We had one sack. Now, once again, this is preseason. We got one sack against the Lions. We got one sack against the Jets. Once again, it's preseason. It's all of our backups. And what do we get? We got two sacks. Okay, so we got four sacks. Once again, obviously the idea is to get pressure on the quarterback. Pressure burst pipes, as Wink likes to say. So we got four sacks in three games. I mean, I said, if you look at tonight, I mean, which just kind of show you, okay, thankfully we got Azeez Ojulari. So, as far as hopefully helping our, maybe Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon, right? If we need something off the edge, right? Now, I don't know if Isaiah, I think he's too light to be able to be on the edge, trying to set the edge, right? But as far as just coming off, blitzing off the edge, as we saw tonight, what he can do, he certainly got the speed for it. But the problem is that our backups, right? In three games, we got four sacks. And it's not like we got our backups going up against the other team's first string. Okay, well, yeah, it's our third string going up against their first string. Yeah, well, we're not going to get many seconds. No, for the most part, it was our backups against their backups. And, it shows, our backups are a little weak as far as the pass rush. Now, once again, we're still building the roster. We're not, we're not supposed to be. Hopefully we do, but we're not supposed to be going for a Super Bowl this year. Once again, I hope we do, but we're still building. But you can certainly see where there are, some deficiencies on the roster. The rush, right? And as I said, some of the blocking is just wow. Some of the guys are just wow. I mean, Parrott had a couple penalties on him, right? He had like the first play of the game, he had a penalty. He jumped offside on another one. And it was almost like they called the penalty on him and they zoomed the camera in on him. Or he was like, he looked like he had a smile on his face or something. I'm like, okay. But then he had some good blocks. But then, I mean, there was like almost two or three plays in a row where Carl Banks was pointing out, we're talking about things that Parrott does bad, but then he had some good blocks in there. Sunday, Monday. So we got like 2.5 days, and we'll find out who the final 53. I think it was Green. I think it was two plays that he had where I think it was like third down. One was like 3rd and 10. I think another one was like 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 or something like that. They completed the pass short, and if he came up and made a tackle, the Jets are punting. But I think there was two times where he missed the tackle, and the guys got a first down, kept the drives going. I mean, if you're on the bubble, that's 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 not the that's not what you want to do. Let's see here. As I said, the problem, I mean, Sills had a very good night. I mean, obviously he had the touchdown. It's going to be interesting to see. Really, really going to be interesting to see. Box score. Here we go. Right. What do you have? Do you have 6 catches? Yeah, 6 for 81. He had the 30-yard touchdown. Right. He had a couple. He had a drop. He had another one. He had in the end zone. It looked like he might have. They didn't. They don't have really great camera angles and all of that and everything. The camera, the angles they were showing was kind of like from across the field. They don't really zoom in or anything like that. So there's some of the cameras are just. I guess they don't have as many cameras out there, I guess, in the preseason games as they do for a regular season game. But he had one in the end zone. Looks like he maybe had his hands on, but I think the defender was able to maybe chop the ball out of his hands. But I mean, he had a nice game. He had a real nice game, and he can give you something on special teams. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if he's enough to make the final 53. Maybe, who knows, for the 312th season in a row, he might wind up on our practice squad. We'll have to say, but he did well for himself. Eric Gray had 4 receptions for 48 yards. Not bad. So it's sometimes it's kind of hard to when Gray has 7 carries for 11 yards. It's kind of like, oh, he stinks. It's like, well, does he stink or do we have no blocking up front? Cager had 3 catches for 24. Mickens had 2 for 23. Jamison Crowder, he had 2 for 17 because he got the one. He caught the one, got down to the 1-yard line. Ryan Jones had a couple catches. I don't know if he did enough to get himself on the roster. Corbin had 2 catches for 11 yards. Corbin had 6 carries for 6 yards. And once again, is it 6 carries for 6 yards? Is like, does he stink or did he have a bad night or we just have no blocking? And, not very good. I mean, the blocking was just, very suspect. I said that our rush defense was very good. 19 carries. The Jets have for 41 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. But the one thing is that, as I said, this is just our backups for the most part. Our rushing, we averaged 3.9 yards a carry tonight. But if Danny, I keep saying Danny, the actor, Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito averaged 5.5 yards a carry on some scrambles. Anything we did have, that was successful was like around the edge. It was like not much up the middle. If you look against the Panthers, we averaged 2.4 yards a carry against the Panthers. 2.4 yards a carry. We had 25 rushes for 60 yards. 2.4 yards a carry. And if you let's see here. You take out Tyrod Taylor's runs against the Panthers, he had 3 carries for 21 yards. So if you just take, because that's just for quarterback, we're looking at almost kind of like just the running backs almost for the most part. You take Tyrod Taylor's runs out of there, we had 22 carries for like 39 yards, average like 1.5 yards a carry. I mean, that's basically our backups in there blocking, average 1.5 yards a carry. And then, of course, against the Lions, we didn't. Let's see, what do we got here? We ran the ball 22 times for 81 yards, 3.7 yards a carry. DeVito, he scrambled a couple times. Tyrod Taylor scrambled a couple times, but we averaged 3.7 yards a carry. And Corbin had a 33-yard run in there. So if you take Corbin's one run out against the Lions, we had 21 carries. 33 for for 48 yards. 21 for 48, like a little over 2 yards a carry. I mean, so like I said, once again, there certainly was some good. Some guys really stepped up on defense. Some guys really did look good on offense. As I said, I'm really very impressed with DeVito. But it's going to be interesting. They certainly got themselves, I mean, what is it? 37 guys, got to go. I'll have to keep an eye out on the injuries. Who's, see, hopefully we'll get a little better news as far as, you know, some of these other guys that got injured, McCain and Bryce Ford Wheaton, and all. But it's preseason, it's preseason. But you can see we still have some deficiencies because you can see, you know, on like when our third stringers are out there, right? You look at the offense. It's like you can see DeVito, you know, he's doing the best he can with very little. But then you look at the offensive line, and it's like, man, they're not doing very well, So you can certainly see we have some deficiencies. But once again, we're building. We're not supposed to be a Super Bowl team this year. I'm not telling Shane and Brandon Brown and none of those guys. Absolutely, I ain't telling them absolutely nothing that they don't know. They know they're off. They're weak. So he's he's trying to help, I guess, build up the starters. That's why we're bringing in Isaiah Simmons and Waller, and we're drafting Hyatt and Michael Schmitz, and we brought Karake in, and we got Banks, and then so we're trying to build up the starters, okay, to give us a good, a good foundation, right? And then somewhere along the line, he's going to have to start working on, the backups because, as you say, unfortunately, if we start getting some injuries to our offensive line, things could start getting a little ugly. I mean, like if I don't even want to say it. We get some injuries to our offensive line. I don't want to start picking any players out of it, but you can see where we got some weaknesses there, and I mean, I said with our pass rush, if Leo is in there, Sexy Dexy's in there, Azeez Ojulari's in there, Isaiah's in there, even though Karake is in there, right? What did I say, Kayvon? If those guys are healthy and they're all in there and all, you're going to get some pass rush. You may not get a ton of sacks, but you're going to get some hits. You're going to get some hurries. You're going to get some, quarterback knockdowns and all that. But once again, I don't want to be jinxing though, but if we start getting a few injuries there, you can just start seeing, after that, we're going to start getting a little thin. But that's preseason. It's over. I mean, I don't know. It's always bittersweet. It's always bittersweet. That's why I always say is like July 4th is always my favorite. Christmas and the New Year's, they're my favorite. Before the start of like training camp. Because once training camp starts, of course, we want training camp and we want the preseason because it's the season's about to start. Of course, we all want that. But the thing I hate, once you get older, time really starts flying by. And the thing I hate is that, you know, the older you get, the faster time flies. So once this regular season starts, it's like I just keep. You got a game. The Giants play a game, and the rest of the days I keep busy and I keep busy. Then they play a game, and after about a month or so, I turn around and look back and I say, "Oh my God, we played 7 games already." It's like, where did the season? What And then another few more games go by, and I just try to keep busy and all of that, and before you know, it's like, holy crap, we played 14 games already. What I mean, it's like the season's almost over. And it's like, what the hell, That's why I hate, because once the preseason starts, it's just like bam, 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 And, it just seems like preseason just started and now preseason's over with. Right. So we got about 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks, right? Sunday. Yeah. We got 2 weeks until Giants and Cowboys. So I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow. I'm not sure. If something pops up, I'll try to be on tomorrow. But if worse comes to worse, I'll be back Monday. And then, of course, Tuesday night, we'll get to talk about the final 53 for the New York Giants. So, all right, guys. Well, Terrence, as always, buddy, good talking to you, pal. So whoever spends any time listening to me shoot my mouth off, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.